So you have decided to make the move here to Tennessee and you're looking for some land to call your own. Well, that is great because today we are going to take a look at some of the cheapest land that Tennessee has to offer. So folks, this is going to be a part 2 in our cheap land in Tennessee series. So if you have not seen part 1 yet, I definitely recommend going to watch that. If you have seen it, you can go ahead and fast forward past this part to our first listing of the day, but if you haven't seen that part, go ahead and hang around. So just so you have a little bit of context, folks, let's talk about land prices here in Tennessee with a little bit of a wider lens. So on an average, an acre of land here in Tennessee is going to run you around $14,400 per acre. Now, the price per acre can vary based on a number of different factors that we'll talk a little bit about today. Those will include location, usability, topography, is the land cleared, has any soil science been done, is there a driveway, are there utilities? Yeah, there is a lot that goes into placing a valuation on land. So keep that in mind as we look at these properties. And if you have the time, you may check out some of our other videos on buying land here in Tennessee. All right, folks, so the first listing we are going to be looking at is going to be this 1.8 acre tract in Cedar Grove, Tennessee. So Cedar Grove is a small town 116 miles southwest of Nashville, Tennessee, and 103 miles northeast of Memphis, Tennessee. So this property is probably going to be more ideal for someone that is looking for land that is remote as you can get. You do have Jackson, Tennessee just down the road, but you are a good distance from any major city. Now, this property, as we look at it, is currently listed at $12,000 or $6,667 an acre. And as you can see, that doesn't fit in our $14,400 per acre number. But let's talk about why that is. So, looking at this property, we're going to see a tract of land that is a section of a ridge, essentially. You can kind of see the topography, the spine of the ridge that runs down kind of through the middle of the lot. So you will have you'll have the front side of the ridge, the top section of the ridge, and then the back side of the ridge down into what looks to be a bottom there. So this 3D image will give you a little bit better idea of the topography of this lot. So we see that there is that topography that we're going to have to deal with, and that is going to reduce our usability in regards to building and what we can do with the tract. Now, let's look at the topography of the property. Again, from the listing photos, we see that the lot has a pretty good degree of slope down to the road frontage here. It looks like we've got 119.22 feet of road frontage, and then off the back side down into a bottom like we talked about in that last picture. What that means for you as someone who would like to build a home here is that you may have to do some earth moving and grading to get the property to the point of being able to build a home on it. Another thing to consider with this one, this property is entirely covered in timber without any sort of improvement or modification to the land. That means that you are going to be dealing with a lot of unknown factors when you go in to purchase this property, especially in regards to soil and percolation testing. So, factors considered, we get a much more clear picture as to why this land is cheaper than the average acre here in Tennessee. Still, I think this is a great option. You know, you really do you do have quite a bit of variance across the lot in regards to topography. So it does have a lot of potential to be a beautiful piece of land for the right person. Really the only drawbacks here that I see is there just haven't been any sort of improvement yet, so we don't know what we're working with there. And this tract is in a development, so you may have to one day deal with an HOA and everything that brings to a property. All right, folks, so this next listing we are going to look at is going to be a 1.31 acre wooded lot in Big Sandy, Tennessee. So Big Sandy is a small town, exactly 99.5 miles directly west of Nashville and 158 miles northeast of Memphis. So whether you're looking at Middle Tennessee or West Tennessee, this may be a little bit of a happy medium, kind of a happier medium for you. Now, this property we see is listed at $13,100 or $10,000 an acre. And again, you can see that this listing does not fit within that $14,400 on average per acre number, but let's look at why that may be. So this property does have a lot going for it on initial inspection. There does look to be some cleared land over here. It does have some road frontage. It talks about that in the listing, and it is extremely close to the Tennessee River. Here we go with that clear land again, but we're starting to see that slope already. So you are extremely close to the Tennessee River, and you know, based on our limited pictures here, it doesn't look too heavily wooded. So that could be pretty easy to make the assumption that it would be easier to clear. There does look to be a few mature trees on the property that could be select cut, but let's look at usability here. So we see that the land is very, very sloped, and that topography, it makes things expensive. It makes things hard to work with, both in regards to a septic system and what you can build, but also the general usability of the land. So that could be a potential problem if you're looking for a piece of property to build your dream home on. Now, you couple that with the restrictions that are already in place on this property by the development, and you know, you have a beautiful piece of land here, folks. It looks like a good price. It's just unfortunately kind of limiting in what you can do with it, at least without a significant amount of work involved. All right, folks, moving on to our last listing of the day. This is a unique one. It only has one picture for us to look at, but that's okay. I picked this property for a reason. So we are headed to Linden, Tennessee. Linden, again, is another small town. It's exactly 88.4 miles southwest of Nashville, Tennessee, and 140 miles northeast of Memphis, Tennessee. So if you'd rather be closer to Nashville, Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee as a whole, then this would likely be a better option for you. Now, this property is going to be listed at $15,000 for 1.4 acres. So again, we see that this tract does not fit our $14,400 per acre number. It actually works out to $10,714 an acre. And when we dive deeper into this listing, we get a little bit of a surprise, and that's why I picked this property. So this property does have road frontage, it already has a building site, and it has access to city water, gas, and electricity. Now, there does seem like you will have to do some clearing. Again, this is our only picture of the property here, folks. But outside of that, this seems like a pretty darn good deal, all factors considered. So if you are looking for a property to get outside of the city and kind of carve out your own little slice of Tennessee, this definitely seems like a great option. There's never going to be any sort of HOA. It's got a great building site, easy access to utilities, a little bit of road frontage, and you're over that 1 acre mark. So you beat the $14,000 per acre on average number for Tennessee. So great option to wrap up the video with here today, folks. So folks, that is going to wrap up our video for today. I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into what cheap land looks like here in Tennessee and what buying cheap land looks like here in Tennessee and kind of what to look out for. So if you haven't already, again, go ahead and check out our part 1 video in this series. Again, we take a look at the cheapest land listings here in Tennessee. And remember, folks, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a personalized Zoom call with us so that we can help you make a smooth move here to Nashville, Tennessee. Until next time, I hope to see you around town soon.